Welcome to Flying Can Ranch in Athens, Texas. I had to go to the doctor today and get me a little shot in Mars. Give me some pills that you take, one of them 3 times a day, and the other one I have to take 2 in the morning 3 times a day, then 1 for 3 times a day, then I have to have 3 times a day. I go through this like every year. I got cheated with chiggers real bad one time, and it changed my chemistry, and then anytime I get one of these, it just goes crazy. So it is what it is. What I want to talk about today is what we have today is I believe it's pronounced Norica Dream Hunter and 22 caliber. We'll go down this way. Yes, this is an Underlever cocker. And we'll come it back. We'll flip it around, pretty much the same story, except you can see a little handle or something sticking out over here, and we'll explain that. And we'll come down it, and we'll go here. So, these guns are made in Spain, and they claim that this has it's a spring piston, but they claim it has a German mainspring inside of here. Supposed to be a very high quality mainspring. So that being said, we'll go over a few specs real quick. Okay, so this is the overall length of this gun is going to be 46 inches. The barrel length is 18 inches. Yes, it is a rifle barrel, and the overall weight is 7.2 pounds. Now the rear sight appears, all this seems like it's made out of metal. It's adjustable for elevation and windage. I tried to hit it with the rear sight. I think at the distance I was trying to do it at, the BB would, or the pellet would get about that far from the can on the right, but it wouldn't gap any more than that. And it has a, which I like very much, as you know, a hooded red fiber optic. Excuse me, with a all steel hood, not plastic. So build quality in this seems to be very, very good. Now, in the 22 caliber, they claim that this does about 820 feet per second, and then in the 177, 980. I don't know if that's with alloy or lead or whatever, it doesn't say. It does have an 11 millimeter rail. I put some Mana scope rings on there, and then that Winchester scope. So going from the back forward, this has got a really beefy, I like this butt pad. It's got a lot of grip texture to it. I wish more airgun companies would follow suit on this. This is absolutely perfect. Very solid polymer stock. It has like a fish scale stippling here down the front of the forearm. So you got some really good grip with this, as far as I'm concerned. Now, to cock this, I don't have any pellets. I didn't bring with me, but I'll show you how it works. You don't have to pull down on anything like you do on some of these that I've reviewed. You basically just pop that open. It's got a little ball indent thing here at the end, and then you can just close it. But to cock it, you're going to, this is exactly how I load it. You don't have a probe or anything that's going to come in and smash your fingers. So it doesn't really have an anti-bear trap, but I'll just pop that loose. We're going to crank it down till it stops. And then on this side, there's a little button on your trap door, your loading door. You're going to open that up. So once I pull this back, I usually just put it back in place. And then there's your loading port. So you got plenty of room to get your pellet up in there. It's very easy to load pellets in this, by the way. a lot easier than the one I reviewed last weekend, in my opinion. I had to kind of fight to get the crossings in. This, everything went into it. How it came out's another story. And then you just close that up. Now, once you've caulked this, and you can't do anything with it before or after, you're going to see this little thing right here in front of the trigger. Now, it's in safe mode right now. Once you push that forward, you're in fire mode. Now, whether it's caulked or uncaulked, I never could get it to do anything after that. So once it's pressed in, it's pressed in. And if it's uncaulked, you can't manipulate it either. So that be it said what it is. Now the instructions say this has a 2-stage adjustable trigger. And it says this in the description for Air Gun Depot. That's who I got it from. I literally removed this trigger guard, and there is no screw that I can see. The instructions, there's no instructions in English, by the way. So it's all foreign language. If you're going to sell an American market, Norica, you got to have it in English for people that's not real familiar with this. But I could find no adjustment screw to adjust this trigger. And between you and me, this is going to be a problem. This is an all steel trigger, however. It's nice. Like I said, the build quality is good. So we are now in fire mode. We're not going to mess with the trigger. It's not loaded. I do want to point out that make sure before you fire the gun that you get your loading door closed. If you don't, this thing's going to sound like a 357 going. If it's loud, so you're basically just slamming your piston. I've got another one I've done this with once or twice. It's not pleasant. But at any rate, like the other Norica I reviewed, it's got these little caps that go over the mounting screws. And they will bounce out. I think this side has bounced out 2-3 times when I was trying to get this thing dialed in, which is another story. And there's one on each side of it. I think in the other one I finally just left them out, or maybe I glued them back in. I don't remember. I think I did a brake barrel of this. So that's a common thing with this manufacturer, is to put these little cap things on there. I think they're kind of useless. You have to just leave them alone or make them a little deeper or something. But we're going to put together a shooting review. I've tried several kinds of pellets out of this. I tried the Crosman Premier Hollow Points. I did some H&M Barracuda Hunters, and then I tried the JTS Deadeyes, and I really got about the same sort of zany result. But we'll go over that in the shooting review, and I'll show you what all I went with. I just wanted to share this with you. I don't think I've overlooked anything. I do like the way it comes up. It fits quite comfortable to my hand, and you can actually, now another thing I noticed is I kind of course I'm missing a few things on this hand, but kind of have to reach a little bit more to get a hold of this trigger, but you can very easily flip that safety forward with the back of your finger. I like the fact that it goes forward a little bit. You know, I reviewed one last week where the safety, you flipped it back toward the trigger. I like that even better. But it is an automatic safety though. So each time you shoot it, you're going to have to disengage from the safe position forward into the fire position. But I can't think of much more to say about it. And we're just going to have to put a better shooting review. We'll just be using a couple of cans this time. And we'll go from there. So, that being said, that's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. And I'll be back to see you in just a little bit.